Hello friends, welcome back to the channel. So if you are new here, my name is Joshua. I built a company called ErgoTune in 2018 and I scaled it from 0 to 15 million in 4 years, and it has since been acquired. And today I kind of want to do something a little bit different. I want to give you guys an update about my life so far and some of the key things that has went through in 2023, and also to share with you guys what I'm looking forward to work through on 2024. So if you're expecting some e-commerce updates or how to scale a business, this is probably not the video that I'm gonna do it in. This is what I think I'm gonna do once every year. I kind of see this like documenting the journey. I think it's pretty cool when I was watching Mr. Beast and when he first started, he was saying in 10 years time I'll have 1 million subscribers. And I think that is something that it's quite amazing. So that's something that I want to do through this video as well. So hopefully I can document this journey, and as I go through life, I can always look back on this and see how far I have gone or how far I have steered away from the path that I said I was going to set out to do. So 2023 was kind of a crazy year in my personal life. I got married in March, went on the honeymoon, and we actually moved into a new place as well. So it was jam-packed with a lot of planning, and for those that know me, I'm very into the details of planning. So for the wedding, everything from what timing to any moment, what everybody should be doing needs to be clear. And same for the house as well. I'm always pushing for the timeline. I'm always looking to how I can optimize the house renovation. So the wedding was great. We had a small little wedding at this restaurant. We thoroughly enjoyed that whole process. Had our family and friends over there, had my colleagues from ErgoTune come over, and they got me really drawn. Yeah, I managed to put together a dance choreography with my groomsmen as well. So that was a little memory that all of us share together. That was actually a surprise for my wife, and she thoroughly enjoys it. So yeah, we will once every year on our anniversary, we'll actually look back on the video and laugh at it, and it's some good times that we will always share. So after the wedding, we flew off to our honeymoon. We chose a location that is not as popular. We actually went to East Africa. So me and my wife, it's more of a scenery, nature kind of people. So we thought that instead of watching Nat Geo on the big screen, why not take this opportunity to see them up close? And I would say it's a very surreal experience. Like if anybody have that opportunity to do that, I would highly recommend you guys to go. One of the best, I would say, memorable experience is when we hiked a mountain in Uganda, and we went to see the wild silverback gorillas. So yes, so this is a little wild silverback gorilla that we got as a souvenir. Yeah, it was a very interesting experience, and we believe that we'll probably head back maybe when we actually have kids and our kids get older. We'll definitely bring them for this experience. So next was planning for the house. Wow, it was a real challenge, because this is the first time in our lives where we actually need to figure out how do we think about co-living together, how will we think about the different space that we have, and how do we want to segment it, and how do we accommodate both of our habits so that we can both live comfortably together. There were a lot of kinks that we had to figure out together, and a lot of it it's imagining how you would live life together, right? So that was very fun. We learned a lot about each other, and when we actually moved in, it's the kind of feeling that for those that have gotten your house for the first time, you kind of understand. It's very surreal because it's finally an environment that you have. So a large part of my life, I've been living with my parents. I've rented a place outside. So when I finally have a place of my own, a lot of the wild things that you want to do in when you think about owning your home, like for my friend, my co-founder, he said that he wanted to buy every single gaming console out there because that's what he dreamt of when he was younger. But when he was actually there, he didn't actually play any of it. But it was just a kind of like a childhood dream that you want to have. So for me, I always dreamed about having a smart home that it's like fully automated, that can kind of use the least amount of effort to fit into your whole lifestyle. So yeah, I spent a lot of time thinking about how do I connect everything together, how do I think about systems and processes that can make my life easier, and yeah, being able to actually see these things come to life, it's really fantastic. So at some point I'll probably think about doing a house tour. Right now the house is very messy. I'm still in the face of what we call productive procrastination, right? I know that there are certain things that I should be doing, but I'm just organizing things here and there, buying folders, buying containers, buying stuff just to keep everything together. So one of the big work/social event that I had this year was actually the farewell party. It was the last day that we were still at ErgoTune. So the initial core team actually put together a small little party for us, together with all the current team members at ErgoTune. And yeah, it was a very bittersweet moment as they made a video and we walked through memory lane on when we first started and how we actually scaled the company together, all the different trips that we had, all the meals and fun stuff that we did in the office when everybody was kind of young and trying to make shit work together. Yeah, those moments will always be moments that I will keep dear to me. I think I'm lucky enough to be able to experience that opportunity to work together as a team and solve problems and scale a company and actually be on the front line of receiving all the positive and negative feedback and trying to continue to grow and struggle, and that was a really fun 6 years that I had at ErgoTune. So right now it's a very unique period of my life, because for the past 6 years, every day it was about the grind and the hustle, right? It's the 5 a.m. life, and then you work, you think about growing the company, managing people, solving problems, putting out fires, talking to customers. It was really fun. It was really fulfilling, incredibly stressful. It was very hard, but every day it felt very purposeful. But the day that I left ErgoTune, it left a giant blank in my calendar, and I was lost for quite some time. Sometimes I would wake up and think like I'm a burden to society. Like, why am I breathing all this free air in? I'm not giving any value back to the world, and it felt weird for quite some time. So I had to do the whole re-evaluation of my life and what am I actually doing and what do I want to obsess over or invest my time in for the next 10 years. So a quick summary of like my career so far all the way until how I got here. In 2018, we started the website called standingdesk.sg. We were looking at selling standing desks because it was not directed at consumers back then in Singapore, and we thought that we could do better. So we ran a pre-order site, bootstrapped it from $0 all the way, and in our first year we were doing about 100k that year. And in 2019 we rebranded to ergoH.co. For those of you that remember, is this yellow orangey type of color scheme on our site. That was when we launched our signature chair, which is ErgoTune, and we had two hero products that year. We were doing about 250k that year. We started to hire a small team. The initial core team was hired during that year as well. And in 2020, we split the ErgoH brand into EverDesk and ErgoTune. Yes, we've done a lot of rebranding. We've learned a lot of lessons on branding throughout the year. So if you guys have any questions about why we actually changed our name so many times, feel free to leave it in the comments below. So yeah, in 2020, that was when we did about $4 million in sales. Things were getting a little bit more serious. We started to need to figure out all the systems and processes. And in 2020 was the year where we really started to know how to run a company. We had to learn the very difficult skill of saying no to things and knowing what are some of the projects and activities we need to say yes to. And once we started to learn about like the DTC way of scaling a company, that's where we really put the resources into good use. We were hiring people and training people in the right places, and the company did very well that year. And in 2021, we did about 15 million that year, so roughly around a 3-4x growth. And that year was the year that we sold away the company to an e-commerce aggregator. And we were bonded for 2 years. So now it's 2023 and this is where I am at. Actually, sometimes it still feels very surreal to be in this position. I guess a lot of times when we look at your successful people or people that you think that have already made it in life, we fail to kind of appreciate the struggles that they had. And across the 4 years, although it was very fun, there were a lot of good moments and key experiences that I get to take away. There were a lot of sacrifices that I had to make as well. And majority is on time, right? Time is that only resource that we don't have, or we can't control. So because of that, for example, I could only meet my then girlfriend, now wife, once every week. And even that one date a week, sometimes when there's a fire to be put out in the office, that date would be cancelled as well. I didn't really get to spend a lot of time with my friends because the business needs me to kind of grow and hold the company and the team together. But I guess this is also like a gentle reminder to me as well that if you kind of want to achieve what you think of financial freedom or time location freedom, it takes a certain amount of sacrifice and hard work or tenacity, all that kind of stuff that you need to put in across many years. And if you're lucky enough, you'll kind of get there. But a large part of it is for us to understand that we need to put in the reps in order for things to really pan out. And I've met many entrepreneurs in my life that has made it or has sold their businesses before, and a lot of times they have tested multiple things prior to them landing on the business that gave them their pot of gold. So a lot of times we kind of overestimate what we can do in a year and underestimate what we can do in 5-10 years, right? Take for example this YouTube channel. If I am looking at the following year to aim for a certain number of subscribers, I'll probably think that my content is great and I'll be able to do like 1 million subs by the following year. But that is probably not true, right? It's gonna take time. It's gonna take time to build the skills that are necessary, potentially a team that can help with certain aspects of doing up a good video. And this is a reminder that although I've been through the journey of building a business, it's still difficult. It's still hard to try to have that delayed gratification. You always want to get there fast and do the thing and finally achieve what you set out to do. If I think to myself like, if I want to always continue to be doing content, to be sharing things that I've learned, to be sharing the journey of the next part of my life, and using this as a documentary-ish kind of thing to share with people on where I am, and potentially if it provides value to more people, then my time horizon is a lot longer, right? You can look at it at 10, 20 years. And if I look at doing videos for 10, 20 years, then what happens in the next year becomes very small. I will be less concerned about the views that I get or the subscribers that I have, and more concerned about whether am I improving with every video, and if I believe that this is the right process and this is the right thing that I want to do and this is what will give me fulfillment. Honestly, the subs and the views are to me more vanity numbers. It is just a scorecard to kind of show whether or not people resonate with the ideas that I have, or do I actually have any value that I'm providing to the world. And the next part I want to kind of share about is on happiness and fulfillment. And I discussed this at great lengths with my close friends. And yeah, the day that I sold the company, honestly, that feeling when the money hits your bank and you feel that surge of excitement of the possibilities of the things that you can buy or what you can do with this financial freedom, it kind of fizzled out in about a week or two. And it was very interesting because when we first started the business, we actually saw this as like a means to an end, potentially cash cow business where we will be able to earn like 10K a month and be able to build on the next business. Never in our wildest dreams would we have imagined us selling the companies for 8 digits. And when we actually got there, it got me thinking about a lot of different questions that I used to have about financial freedom, and a lot of that was tied to the happiness that I was gonna receive, right? In my mind, if I have millions in the bank, I will then be worthy of being happy. Sure, the money did settle a large part of my life. I currently don't have to worry about like family needs or food or paying for the bills, but did it make me like significantly happier? And if I'm being honest with myself, probably not. And as I start to imagine and think about what were the things that gave me happiness and fulfillment, it really boils down to the simple stuff like being able to spend time with my wife, being able to hang out with my close friends, talking about how life is gonna be 10 years later, or how our kids will grow up and be friends, talking about how we can solve problems, or working as a team, growing a company, working as a team to conquer certain obstacles. That gave me happiness, that gave me fulfillment, that made me feel like there was real purpose and something that is like worth living for. Those are the things that I love and craved for. So if I could turn back time and give my younger self a little bit of advice, is really to slow down and enjoy that journey. You may not know what that destination looks like, but that journey is really what makes life worth living, right? Not many people have that opportunity to go through these struggles and to be able to come out of it together as a team. And if anybody else out there that is going through the same thing, no matter what stage of life that you are at, if you have just became a parent and you are looking to raise a child, the struggle of raising a child, I can only imagine is probably quite tough. But that is a good 5-10 years or maybe 20 years of your life that you get to experience once or twice, and you will never get that experience again. But that journey of being able to raise a kid is probably going to be amazing, and when you look back onto your life, those are the moments that you will probably remember. So I think about my company back then as my little baby, and when we scaled that journey until it became a walking adult, that whole moments, all the moments that you have in between, like your first customer, your first positive review, your first corporate order, your first customer that calls you and said that, hey, I bought from your website because your website looks great. And that kind of recognition that you get from consumers who are buying your products is something that is very amazing. And if anybody has that opportunity to build something of your own, do go and try, and you'll kind of understand what I mean, and that small little perks of happiness that you get from it. So my belief is that if you can find something that you enjoy and you can do it for decades on end, it is very hard for you not to be successful. Of course, it comes with a lot of putting in the work, time management, day in, day out, you put in the reps, you will start to figure things out. And if you look at your timeline as 10, 20 years instead of the next year, it changes the perspective of how you want to approach things. So in my journey, looking forward, in 2024, I'm relatively excited. It's a unique place of my life that I get to choose what I want to do. So the first one is I really need to lose some weight. Like, I've gotten real fat. So all my life I had a very unhealthy relationship with food. I am constantly overeating. I indulge in like quantities of food, and it's probably not good. And I'm one of those people where some of my friends look at me as a rubber band, where I have ballooned up to 100 kg and I have slimmed down to 78 kg, and then like I just went back and forth. So yeah, I think this year it's going to be a little bit different. So I actually dieted down for the wedding because I'm vain, right? And like I wanna look good for my wedding. So if you see my pre-wedding photos versus how I look like now, there's a little bit of chops here and there, not gonna lie. So, but post-wedding was when it got real serious. Me and my wife just went ham on indulgence. We were not conscious about the food, the intake that we were having. So right now we are on a journey together. And honestly, it is not just for like the aesthetics or the confidence or all those sort of things. To me, when I eat right and I exercise, although during the process it sucks, don't let anybody tell you anything otherwise. It actually makes me feel good at the end of the day because it felt like I made multiple right decisions. So that's something I want to feel for a longer period of time. And I think this time round it's going to be different, hopefully, because me and my wife are actually on this journey together. And it is interesting because as a couple, when you guys have a common goal to work towards, firstly you have that support, right, from the closest person that you have on this earth. Secondly, it is the beauty of working towards a common goal and the struggles that you will face. Like when one goes down, the other can help to like bring the person up. And when both of you get to achieve that same common dream together, I think it's an experience that couples should try to move towards. I'm no relationship expert, but so far it feels good going on this journey together with my wife, and hopefully we can stick together on it for a longer period of time. So the second thing I want to do is to grow my audience as a content creator. There are a lot of skills that I'm currently learning. I'm learning about video editing, I'm learning about storytelling, scripting, and all these are weaknesses in my life, right? They are skills that I have never needed, I've never knew how to do it. In ErgoTune, we had a team of incredibly talented people that were running and doing the ads for us. But yeah, personally, I've never done it before. Sitting in front of a camera, talking to a lens here still feels weird to me. But yeah, it is something that I want to do. And the reason for this is because I all along, I've always wanted to be a professor. I wanted to teach in a university on entrepreneurship. I wanted to share about how I can guide young students on how to think about business. And in my mind, I had to build some level of credentials, right? Which was why I went out to kind of start my own thing. So I actually applied. I went to my university and I applied to be a professor, but it requires a PhD. So and rightfully so. You can't have any random person going to teach and not be structured about the curriculum. And so I started to think to myself, what should I do, right? And then I realized in my journey in ErgoTune, I have never ever once thought like, okay, if I want to learn something, I'm going to take a university course. A large part of it comes from online, comes from YouTube, comes from going to online course marketplaces like Udemy. And that's where I want to be, right? Which is why I started on this journey. The only regret is I didn't start this earlier. If only I was documenting my whole ErgoTune journey, I believe I have a lot more experience to share. But it's not too late to start now, so I'm trying to dig up all kind of my old files and archives to see what are some of the key learning lessons that I can share that is valuable to people. But yeah, right now it's still fun. It is it reminds me of when I first started a business, the small little struggles and the small wins that you have. So like for now, I have about 100-ish subscribers on YouTube and 0 on TikTok. Yes, I've not started any form of short form content. Yeah, and it's mainly due to fear of putting myself out there and uncertainty of knowledge, not sure how to edit on a mobile phone, all this small little stuff. But same thing, if I give myself a 10-year horizon, in 10 years time I'll probably win an Oscar for being able to act and talk in front of camera. No doubt about it. So the next thing I want to do is to kickstart my next business. Probably still in direct to consumer or selling products online. There's just a beauty about consumer products. If you look at brands that you love, maybe Apple or your Lululemon of the world, it's quite incredible to be able to build something that people love and will continuously buy. But then comes the problem, right? There is a quote from my co-founder, and he was sharing that he read this online where most entrepreneurs won't do the same business twice. That was very interesting because I think you need a certain level of naivety and innocence to jump into your first business thinking that you can do better. And once you are there and you are in the trenches, you realize how freaking hard it is. And that is probably where if you make it out of the trenches, you won't go and explore that portion again. And that is currently where I'm at. That formed the constraints to the next business that we want to do, which is very interesting because back then when I was running ErgoTune, I always joked around in ErgoTune saying that my next business, I need to be able to fit the product into a poly-mailer bag. I need to be small enough that I can just easily ship because ErgoTune is huge, right? When you ship a box, it requires 2 person to carry it, and it's ridiculously how hard it is to do like bulky businesses. But then I speak to my friends who runs businesses that does smaller items like your apparels or jewelries, and also said the same thing. They will probably not run another apparel business or jewelry business again because it is hard in their own aspect, right? Which makes life very interesting because you can see how your experience kind of shapes the constraints that you have and affects the decisions that you will make in the future. So because of this, we have certain constraints that we personally don't want to do. So for the next business, some of the things that we are looking at, products that we are looking at needs to have certain attributes, like it needs to have high AOV and high LTV. If you don't understand what that means, click somewhere to watch my previous video. in our mind, it needs to solve a very clear problem for a specific group of customers. And thirdly, hopefully it can have like a demonstrable type of product where it can easily be shared on socials that you can see the product working. I think these aspects are what we are looking for the next product that we are going to do. And lastly, if you have made it to this far into the video, thank you. I have like mad appreciation for every single one of my viewers. And also take this chance to thank every single one of you that has supported ErgoTune throughout the journey. It has been incredible in serving and developing the whole product. And yeah, you guys gave me a life that I never would have imagined. So thanks for that. And with that, I wanna take this chance before I jump into the next business to actually meet as many of you guys as possible. I wanna be able to see how I can cater the knowledge that I have to help you in your business or any journey that you're looking at. But honestly, I'm not great at like a lot of other things. I'm only more consumed in the whole consumer business. So if you're running e-commerce business and you're looking to scale, or you're trying to see how to grow or manage a team, feel free to drop me DM or just comment in the comment section down below, and I'll be more than happy to meet up with you to see how I can help you further. So that's all I have today. I hope you guys enjoyed my little ramble, and thanks for watching all the way through, and have a great year ahead. Bye.